In today's video, I'm going to look at 10 of my favourite games that I have been to at St James's Park. Picking just 10 was quite difficult, but I have done it. Let's get into it. Okay, in 10th place, it's a game against Aston Villa. It was a game where we beat Villa 5-1, but the reason was Andy Cole scored his 41st goal of the season in that game. The way he played for us was just sensational, and he was unplayable for those 2 or 3 years that he was with us. Okay, in 9th place, it was the Alan Shearer volley game. I was in the Gallagher that night, and Shearer obviously scored in the Gallagher end, and what a goal it was. And Shearer's goal wasn't the winning goal. Shearer's goal was the equalising goal. The winning goal was from Craig Bellamy, and he nicked it quite near the end. So we turned the game round in a few minutes. It was just absolutely wild, and it was just an amazing atmosphere at the end of that game. In 8th place, I've got a game against Leicester City from 1997. It was just after Keegan had left, actually, and Dalglish had come in, and then we ended up going 3-1 down, and with like 15 minutes left, Alan Shearer scored a hat-trick. And yeah, anyway, so we went on to win that game 4-3. Unfortunately, things after that under Dalglish sort of went downhill fairly soon, but that was an exciting game. In 7th place, I've got the Champions League game against Juventus, where we won 1-0. Andy Griffin scored the goal. It was an amazing atmosphere in St James's Park. There was so much riding on that game. We'd lost our first 3 group games. We knew we had to win. Great atmosphere, amazing result, and it kick-started us getting through to the next stage of the Champions League. In 6th, I've got a game against Leicester City. It was the end of the promotion season under Kevin Keegan, 1993. It was just a pure party atmosphere. We'd already been promoted. We were 6-0 up at half time. Andy Cole had scored a hat-trick, and the whole crowd, my biggest memory from that game is the fact that for the full half-time break, the crowd just chanted the Andy Cole song over and over and over again, just for the full 15 minutes. It was just amazing, and we were 6-0 up at half time. Won the game 7-1. Went up as champions, obviously. Lindisfarne were playing on the half-built Leazer's end as a guest band, and it was honestly like a pure party. I've never been to a football match like it before that, and I haven't been to one like it since. It was just something else. It really did feel like the beginning of something special was happening. Okay, in 5th place, it's the time we beat Sunderland on Halloween 5-1. Kevin Nolan hat-trick, of course. There was never any doubt about it. Shola, Nolan and Carroll just bossed them absolutely and just played them off the park. Totally deserved win. It was just amazing. Obviously, great atmosphere too. In 4th place, Newcastle United 8, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Bobby Robson's first home game as manager. Alan Shearer scored 5 goals. It doesn't get any better than that. In 3rd place, it's the 4-4 draw with Arsenal, and we were 4-0 down at half time, but we thought that we were just going to lose that game 8-0 or something. But then they came out in the second half, got a goal back, and I guess at that point we just thought, there's a bit of a consolation, but then we got it to 4-2, and then people were like, we can do this, and the Arsenal team, they lost it. Cheick Tiote scored that screamer, so not only did we get that back, but the fact that the goal that got the result back was such a good goal. I mean, the noise in the stadium that night was it was unbelievable. And actually, again, something that people forget is that we actually then had chances to win that game. We could have won that game 5-4. I went for the Barcelona game in 2nd. Tino scored a hat-trick. The place was just bouncing, and it just felt incredible that Newcastle were not only in the Champions League but competing with a team like Barcelona, and it was a special, special night. And in 1st place, it's Newcastle United 5, Man United 0. The thing about that game is it came really soon after 2 really significant defeats by Manchester United. So we'd lost the league title to them a few months earlier when we should have won that league, and we'd also been humiliated in the Charity Shield at the very start of the season in the August. We'd lost 4-0 at Wembley. So this game was played in the October, so it was kind of like a couple of months after the Wembley game where we'd been absolutely hammered 4-0. Everybody thought that the game would be similar to the game we played against Man United the previous season at home, where we lost 1-0. Eric Cantona scoring the goal that separated the teams, even though we absolutely battered Man United that game. But that's another story. Peacock scored the first goal. Then Ginola scored his stunner from the outside the box, which made it 2-0. And then from there it just kind of unravelled, and it was amazing. It was like, you know, Shearer, Ferdinand, and then that chip from Albert to round it off. It's a thing of beauty. Absolutely. What centre-half scores a goal like that over Peter Schmeichel? What more can you say? St James's Park was bouncing. It was absolutely rocking. It was just brilliant to absolutely hammer them. It's a shame we then didn't go on to do any better, but you know, Keegan left a couple of months after that, and then things did really unravel for us for the next few years until Bobby Robson came in. But that game at that point in time was incredibly special. I would really love to know what your favourite game you've seen at St James's Park has been. Leave that in the comments below. If you like this video, please consider subscribing, hit the like button too, and I will see you really soon for another video.